ready, just begin in a comfortable seat. And just to reiterate, because I've been preaching this, especially as we've been talking about low back, but I say this all the time. Go ahead and make sure that you're sitting up on a blanket for just these first few minutes. It's really, I'll reiterate something that I think I taught on Tuesday, and I'm not sure who was there in that practice to hear about this, but I'll wait till Mary gets back. Just the importance of how we support the spine, and there we are. Yeah, that's great. So I just wanted to reiterate the importance of how we support the pelvis and the spine, and the relationship between that support and how we're feeling in the lower back. So one of the things that I taught on Tuesday this week, when we really were talking a lot about the low back, was if there's one takeaway that I can share with you about creating a seat, whether you're sitting at your table, whether you're sitting in your office chair, or certainly sitting here on the mat for any length of time, is if you can elevate the sits bones, if you can elevate your pelvis in order to let your knees drop forward and down, it really just absolutely makes a huge difference in your lower back. Because what you want to look for is the point where your hip bones are. So if you can put your thumbs on your hip bones and just feel that bony point, and then notice where the tops of your knees are relative to that bony point. If you can have at least 2, maybe even 3 finger widths difference between the bony points of your hips and your knees, then that's kind of a good rule of fingers actually, but a rule of thumb to bring yourself into a supported position. Because when the knees drop forward, the difference, in other words, I can sit here without my blanket and I can certainly bring myself to a nice, what might look like a straight spine. I mean, it is a straight spine. But even when I take myself off the blanket here for a moment, I can start to feel a little subtle pull into the low back, okay? Because I'm clenching to enable myself to create that flat back. Well, when you think about sitting in meditation, that's the last thing that you want to introduce, is any sort of tension in the body. And so, whether you're sitting in meditation or whether you're sitting at your desk, even driving for distances in a car, if you can create a situation where the knees are indeed lower than your hip points, then the pelvis is automatically going to be able to relax. And once it relaxes, then you can allow the spine to grow into its natural curves, and the absolute miracle of the spine and the way that each vertebra is positioned one upon the other just allows the body to be supported. That's how we've evolved, and it's a beautiful thing. So we don't want to try to negate that or overlook how we can help ourselves just through such a simple correction, simple addition to our daily habits. And it really is just a habit. So once you get into this habit, then all of a sudden you'll realize that there's a relaxation that occurs around this midsection. So anyway, I just wanted to leave that with you to start with as we come to our seat on the blanket. Sorry, my voice is a little gravelly this morning. I think the spring air is getting to me a little bit. But it's a good thing. We're happy that it's spring. So find your seat and we will begin just with a few minutes of introspection and breath. I invite you to close your eyes, or you could just bring your gaze slowly forward and down and allow yourself to drop in. It's almost as if a trap door has opened and you gently float down into your seat and just arrive in this space of support, of balance, of stability, of ease. Just take a moment to check in with yourself. Notice if there's any part of the anatomy that's talking to you, that's maybe being a little louder for some reason. Perhaps there's a pain. Perhaps there's some chronic fatigue or tension. And make a promise to yourself to address those areas with compassion today, and especially in your practice. See if you can offer a little soft gift of breath to any area that's arising. A little massaging bundle of compassion. And just enjoy a moment of stillness. With stillness, we can truly listen to what's within. And this is always the starting point of our practice. Listening to what is within. Nice, slow, soft, deep breath in, and just allow that breath to start to fill up the lungs a little broader, a little taller, a little wider than before. And fully let it release and let it go. Let's do that again. Inhale. Lifting up, side to side, top to bottom, and let it go. And let's do one more time. Inhale. This time, hold that breath at the very top of the inhale. Feel the potential of the energy of the positive, light and bright life inside you, and then let it release. All right, very good. You can start to open your eyes now, if they were closed. And you can stay on your blanket if you wish. It doesn't need to be up very tall, so if you want to stay on sitting on the edge of a blanket, you might just take it down, so maybe it's just a little narrower depth, or you can sit all the way on the mat if you wish. We're going to come into another seated posture with the right leg extended and the left leg is going to be bent. So we're moving into our first posture, Janu Sirsasana. So we're just going to let the right leg extend out. Left hip externally rotate. So use the muscles around the hip and rotate. Use those external rotators to reach down toward the mat and press down through the outer side of the hip. With the extended leg, let's just take a moment and flex and bend into the ankle, flex and point. Just get a little bit of engagement here since we were sitting with the legs crossed to make sure everything is feeling happy. And then we'll lift the arms up, reach them overhead, and gently reach into both sides of the rib cage. Maybe grasping in the air just a little bit higher each side, almost like you're reaching up for something in that top cabinet, using the side body to lengthen up rather than straining into the neck. Take a deep breath in and then hinge forward from your hips and allow yourself to fold forward and down. Direct your heart out and then allow it to just rest in the space to the left side of your leg. Start to feel the stretch all the way from the base of the spine, rising up and over the crown of the head. Relax your shoulders. And then in this position, see if you can press your right leg slightly more forward and roll that left hip down just a little bit more. So just reach forward with the right foot. You'll just feel a tiny little adjustment in the pelvis, and then allow yourself to fold down a little deeper. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Start to rise back up. Come back up to the top. We're going to lift the left foot up, cross it over the right leg, and let that foot glide back toward the right hip. So you're going to pull that right foot back, position it as close to the right hip as it feels comfortable for you. It may be closer to the knee. That's all right. Just kind of reach and feel the stretch on the left side of your leg as you do so. All right, so we're gonna fold forward again. This time just letting the weight of the body rotate forward, dropping down as your belly comes down toward the thighs. So the back is not overly stretching here. It's just rounding and dropping, and then you'll start to feel that sensation on the right side of your leg. If you haven't already, relax into the right ankle. Let your right foot be soft. Sometimes it wants to clench up and start to create some tension, but I want you to let your right foot and ankle go, and you'll feel that translate all the way up, all the way back into the right side of your hip. Beautiful. I'll take one more breath here. And then slowly come all the way back up. All right, keeping the legs or the left leg in the same position, lean back and let's bend the right leg and bring that leg into a bent position. Now your left foot is going to press down into the mat. Hopefully you can see that. There's a lot of glare from that lovely sunshine today. We're coming into Half Lord of the Fishes pose. So we're pressing down through the left foot, still sitting on, the sits bones, pressing down that way. Now just lift up through the spine, feel the lower back, lift up, Take your right hand around the left knee and your left hand behind the body and just engage in a very gentle, subtle twist of the pelvis. So you're just going to pull the left side of the pelvis over to the left. Feel the stretch deep into the hips here, the hips and pelvis. We're not worried about how far we're twisting. We're just feeling the action of the lever of the muscles and the bones, allowing for some space to open up. Let's take one more breath here. Really nice. All right, come back to the center. Now we're going to take your bent right leg and move into the beginning position once again, Janusirsasana. So right foot into the inner left thigh, left leg is now extended. Let's do a couple of points and flexes. Again, just getting all the energy flowing up and down the leg. And then settle your hip points down. Inhale, arms up this time, lifting energy high. And again, that little stair-stepping approach with the side of the ribs. I always think of like opening a little more on one side and then reaching a little more with the other, so that you're reaching with the mid-body, the rib cage, the obliques. And then fold forward, hinge from your hips and allow the hands to come down. Guide your heart out and forward. And then once you've reached sort of your maximum comfortable folding position, I want you to try to relax into the low back. And you can allow the upper back to round a little bit here if you like. You can just let yourself drop into the posture. And then as we did before, we're going to take the left foot and sort of press it forward, almost like there's a wall in front of you and you're trying to reach and push into that wall, and you'll feel the right pelvis rotate out and back and down a little bit more. So just kind of feel it's a very subtle shift. But it's a deep, deep engagement into parts of the body that we don't often address. The QL muscle that's attaching into the sacrum. Boy, when that gets tight, it can set up a whole series of related discomfort and achiness in the low back. So we're really addressing that here. All right, inhale and come on back up. Take the right leg, cross it over. See if you can slide the right foot so it's aiming back toward your left hip. So you're sort of trying to bring your knees so that they're more or less in the same zip code, one on top of the other. And then just allow yourself to round forward. This is not a stretching where you're trying to create any sort of additional length. You're just letting the weight of the body drop forward, the belly reaching down toward the thigh, and relax. The key here is to relax that left leg. Try to bring some softness into the toes, into the ankle. Use your breath to coax the body. Let's do one more breath here. Lift up, come back up to the top, kind of support yourself back with your arms if you need to so that you can bend the left leg. Right foot now presses down on the mat. You're sitting up a little taller for this one. Push down into the right foot, really grounding through that foot and lifting up, length into the spine. Left arm wraps around the bent leg. Your right hand comes behind you. And I just want you to think about the twist from the pelvis, okay? So again, these are really subtle movements. We have very little range of motion in the pelvis when it comes to rotating. So when we think about moving from the pelvis in this way, we're talking about micro inches at a time. Just a hair, and then maybe another hair. But if you slow down and you are mindful, you will feel deeply and intensely where we're going with this. Very nice. Let's take one more breath. And then rotate back to the center, unwind your legs. I hope that felt good. That was kind of our opening salvo today, addressing the hips, the low back. And we'll just change it up a little bit here. Come on to hands and knees position. As you come into tabletop, I'm going to pull this hair back because I didn't do that at the beginning. So come on to tabletop position and make sure that everything is nice and square, knees underneath the hips. Palms pressing down, using the strength of the arm bones to press into the thumb and index finger side of the palm, but your other fingers are outstretched so that you really feel a sense of connection and energy, hasta bandha, to the earth below. Lengthen the crown of your head forward and press your tailbone back, pulling one end away from the other and feeling yourself supported in the center. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And then keeping your hands exactly where they are in this square table, I just want you to bend your elbows and come down on the forearms. And your gaze is going to be down between your hands. As you create this new supported position, feel yourself spreading the shoulder blades wide. So just take the energy of the shoulder blades and push them out to the side. Take a breath here as you feel comfortable and supported in this position. You're still pressing down through the hands and arms, so you may indeed feel a little fatigue, a little engagement in the biceps, in the tops of the arms. And then curl your toes, draw your energy into the center, lift your navel and press the organs of the body up. Your knees are still down on the mat for now, but you're pressing your inner organs up into your spine. And then with this level of engagement, now lift the knees up. And you can straighten those knees to whatever degree feels appropriate for your body as we come into this dolphin pose, reaching the spine up and back. Let your neck be soft, but press your tailbone away from the body. Even if the knees are bent, you can still engage and find the length in the spine. Let's hold this for one more breath. Beautiful. Let the knees come down And take your hands off the mat. Let's wrap them around the back of the body and relax. Let your arms release. Maybe take your hands all the way to the back and move the wrists around. Move the fingers around. Take a deep breath in, up and down the spine. And then slide your hands back up to the mat. The kitty cat's gonna have to move. Go, 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 go. And then come back to table position. All right. We're gonna do that one more time because there is benefit in muscle memory and repetition. So find your strong table just as we did before. I'm not gonna give you all the cues, but you know how to do that. Press into a strong tabletop position. And then once you feel nice and square and strong, let the forearms come down. Keep that strong approach to the body. Lift up the inner organs again, curl your toes, and as you're ready, lift your hips up. Start to press them up and back, and then straighten your legs to whatever degree is in your ability this morning. If the knees stay bent, that's perfectly fine. You're just reaching the spine up and back. Keep broadening through the shoulder blades. Nice deep breaths nourish the body and give us energy. Beautiful. One more breath. Now we're going to move into downward facing dog. So just peel the forearms up off the mat, straightening the arms now. That feels good on those triceps and biceps now. Lift the hips up and take a lovely downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep breath in, exhale. Nothing makes downward dog feel a little easier than doing dolphin pose, huh? One more breath. And then come forward, knees down on the mat. This time we're going to roll all the way down to the belly. Beautiful. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders or maybe just slightly back behind the shoulders so that we have a good base of support. Again, hands pressing down and away from the earth. Widen your feet. Let's bring them almost as wide as the mat itself. And then we're going to press up to a cobra. But as we do, I want you to think about your buttocks, think about the gluteal muscles. They do have to engage, but we're trying to allow the back, as we lift up, to just naturally reach and eliminate the clenching in the low back as we press up. So if you feel the glutes begin to clench, see if you can feel them spreading and still supporting, but without clenching. Let yourself come down. Let's take a little break. Relax your arms, turn your head, and turn your cheek. Just come into a neutral space. Deep breath in. Exhale. Slide the hands forward once again. We're going to move into Cobra again for repetition. So just fall into the same position as you were before. Lift up, peel the front body away from the mat and let that energy rise up. The breastbone sliding up towards your chin, and consciously let go of the clenching if it occurs in the upper hams or the gluteal muscles. Exhale and come back down. Release the arms once again, just bring them behind you. Again, it might feel good to move the fingers around. Move from palms down to palms up. Very nice. Take your hands underneath the shoulders, lift up and then widen your knees. Bring your knees nice and wide and press back to a wide child pose. Almost said wild child. Wide child. Let your belly drop down between your thighs. Your forehead can rest on the mat if it comes down that far comfortably. Breathe into your third eye, the seat of intuition. What is it telling you? What is your inner wisdom communicating to you this morning? And as you're ready, roll on up. You're going to keep those knees wide just as they were, big toes together to touch. Take your right arm out, lift it up to the sky, and then drop it down. Thread the needle and come to rest on your right shoulder or just behind the right ear. Now feel the upper back stretching and reaching into those spaces where tension likes to get trapped. If you wish, you can take your left arm up and around. You can tuck it back behind your low back. If you wish to just leave it on the floor in the initial spot, that's fine too. Two more breaths. And then take your left hand back down to the mat, press up, come back to all fours position. And then the left arm is going to sweep up and open, reach up into the armpit, and then reach it down and under. Come to thread the needle on the other side. That lovely feeling of opening up. It's like a door that's gotten stuck. And you're opening up space and just letting the tension just drip right out. Three more luxurious breaths here. Right hand back down, press yourself up. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. And from tabletop position, we're going to take the right foot forward into a lunge. So bring your hands to your blocks. Lift up through the back of your thigh. Feel yourself strong and supported in your low lunge position. Pressing down through the right heel. Take a deep breath in. Reach the right arm forward. Reach it so that you can feel that stretch all the way back to the right pelvis. And then lift it up. We're going to rotate it up to the ceiling and then reach it all the way to the back like the giant hands of a clock. And then up and over and reach it back forward again. And the hand comes down to the block. Pivot on your feet and move your hands to the left side, coming to a wide leg forward fold. As you come into this position, feel your support lifting up through the inner thighs. I always preach this. Feel your support in the core. So you're not just letting the torso hang forward, but you're really providing a base. Let your head drop down. Walk your hands, if you can, so that the hands are in line with the arches of your feet. And then press down into the hands. Release your head, so your head and cervical spine are completely relaxed. And then lift up to a fingertips position so that you can lengthen your head forward, your tailbone back. Turn your feet so that the toes are pointing toward the corners of the mat and your heels are now pointing in. Bend your left knee and side walk your hands to the left, keeping your body facing the left side, but just bending your energy to the left. Your left knee is pointing over the toes. Try not to let it sickle in or out, but try to keep the leg so it's in alignment. Toes, knees, and hip. This is Skandasana. If you wish, you can drop it down further. If this is in your practice and it feels good to let your hip come down near your heel, you can certainly move into that position, but you don't have to. You can stay up with the knee halfway bent. Lift up. If you were down, walk the hands back to the center and then bend the right knee, directing that knee toward your toes. Again, deep stretch to the inner thigh. No matter who you are, we can all feel that. And then the option again, if you wish, to let your seat come down towards your heel. It's a much deeper stretch in that inner thigh, so don't move there if you feel any pain or if you feel a restriction that's just saying, maybe not today. Press up and back and come back to the center of place. Heel toe your feet. Actually, wait, keep your feet where they were. Keep your feet where they are. Take your hands to your waist and lift up. Bring your arms up and out. We're just going to get a nice stretch lifting up. We've been upside down for long enough, I think. So let's reach those arms out. Lift up through the crown of your head. Deep breath. And then exhale, come back down, hands to the mat, and walk them around to the front. We're back in lunge position. Step your left foot forward, and then rise up, hinging from your hips and using the core to lift all the way up to the top. Arms overhead. Take a little back bend here, lifting up and feeling the energy rise. Exhale and forward fold. And then step back with the right foot. Runner's lunge to begin. Just prepping the body with this more supported version of lunge. How's the breath? Keep it flowing and energizing now. From this position, we'll turn again and turn to the right side this time, coming to wide leg forward fold. As before, walk your hands back so that the palms of your hands and the arches of your feet are in the same line, and then let your head drop forward and down. Keep lifting up through your pelvis, through the pelvic floor, lifting it up, engaging in Uddiyana Bandha energy, rising and supporting you in the center. Lift up to fingertips and extend the spine. Exhale and fold. All right, so this time we're going to heel toe the feet in. So heels in, toes in, heels in, and then sit down in Malasana. Malasana squat. So you're going to let the base of the tailbone drop down, knees are wide. You're going to end up in a position where your toes are pointing somewhat out. That's usually more supportive. Take your hands to your heart. Press to the inner thighs. Feel the energy rising up through the spine, but let your tailbone and the lower body sink down. So Malasana is one of the best postures for the low back. We want to make sure that it's supported, and in so doing, create a seat if you need to. If you need to lift up because those knees are too compressed in this lower position, then find your blocks and build that seat up. Back to your breath. Deeply sending those compassionate breaths to any area where the tightness, where the tension inside has gotten trapped. Very nice. And then we're going to lean forward, coming out of this. Press your hands down on the floor. Heel toe the feet back out, so they're in a wide position once again. And then walk the hands around to the front. Step the right foot forward and fold. Slowly rise, lift all the way up. There we are, back up into standing position. Bring your hands down by your side. Find Tadasana, anchoring through the tripod of your feet, feeling the bones stack one upon the other. Relax into your back and pelvis. There's no need to engage. There's really no need to do anything except find where you feel balanced and centered. If you like, close your eyes. And just for a moment, address your inner landscape once again. Touching base. Staying in contact. Listening to the feedback loop that your body is communicating. All right, inhale, bring the arms up. Deep breath in and exhale, fold down once again. We're going to step back with the left foot, take a couple of standing postures here. Right knee is going to be bent and the right heel is down. We're lifting up to warrior two pose. So swing the left arm around. Find a position where you feel stable, reaching your energy both to the back and the forward position, but resting in the present. Resting in the center. Let's take the left hand down, lift the right arm up and over. Pausing here for reverse warrior, feeling how the weight is more support now on the back side as we lean slightly back, but open up into those right ribs. Come back to warrior two. Drop the right hand on top of the right thigh and reach the left arm over the ear for side angle. Beautiful. Come back up to warrior position and straighten the right leg. And we'll transition to triangle pose, letting the pelvis roll and push to the back as we reach the right arm forward, lifting underneath the armpit and the rib cage, and then let the hand come down. Left arm floats up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lift back up. Come back to warrior two just momentarily. Take your left arm around to the front and step the left foot forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and forward fold. Step the right foot back. Positioning for Virabhadrasana 2 once again, and then lift up, swing the arms around. Find your energy and strength. Beautiful warrior this morning. And then take your right hand down. Left arm reaches up and over, reverse or exalted warrior. Beautiful spring day to enjoy this energy flow. Love it. Come back to warrior two. This time left arm down on the thigh, right arm up and over. Slowly move into extended side angle. And then back up to warrior two. Straighten the forward leg. And transition to triangle, letting the hips press back, reach the left arm out, and then beautifully let it come down to a place of support. Could be your leg, it could be a block, could be the floor. Breathe. Lift back up, bend that front knee, swing the right arm around and step it forward. One little balancing pose here before we take it down to the mat again. Let's move into Vrksasana tree pose. Balancing on the left leg to begin. Come just to the tip of the right foot. Feel your energy lifting up and support through the midsection. And then as you're ready, lift the right leg up, turn the knee out, and find your expression of tree this morning. More breath. Right foot comes down, pause. Let's take a moment with both feet on the ground. Establish our grounding and our rooting system. And then balancing on the right leg. Start with just a toe on the left side. Remember, you can always keep that toe down. If balance is not in your wheelhouse this morning, you can just turn the knee out and take a rooted tree, or you can lift that left foot up and position it wherever you feel most stable, and then express your tree on this beautiful spring day. Breathing, releasing, feeling alive and vibrant. Take your hands down, left foot comes down. Inhale, both arms up, exhale, and forward fold. Hands down to the mat or your blocks, bend your knees, let your seat come all the way down to the mat. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna roll it down to our back to conclude. So just let yourself lay backwards and Let's bend the knees and hug them into the chest. Take one hand on the top of each knee and just circle the knees around, feeling that sweet little massaging action on the sacrum, round and around. And then circle the other way. And we're going to lift the feet up into the air, bend the knees, come into Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Slide your hands up the sides of the shins and maybe grab hold of the shins, the ankles, or possibly the outside of your feet if the hips will widen and allow you to reach and make that position. Breathe into your low back and into the depths of your pelvis. Meaning deep into the tissue, the low sacral area, the hip capsules. Feel how much we have addressed the release of tension, particularly in that space today. Let your knees drop down towards your armpits and relax your shoulders. Breaths here. And then feet together, let them tap down on the mat. Bring your arms out into a T off the shoulder. Let's cross the right thigh over the left and just squeeze them together. Again, lift both feet up. And just pull the knees toward your chest. We're going to let the arms stay wide this time and just press through the energy of your legs. Push the foot in the opposite direction of their side. So just squeezing into a little shoelace pose. Relax the shoulders down. And then in midair, switch the legs around. Make that opposite bind and press your feet out to the sides of the mat. And then unwind, tap the feet down. And let the legs stretch out nice and long. And begin settle down for a few minutes of mindful Shavasana. This is part of the practice, which is the greatest gift. Allowing our heart to be true, allowing the body to speak. Feel all the results. Feel the sensations that are flowing in and through you right now. Take the next few minutes of mindful relaxation and presence to wrap up this practice the most beautiful way. to one side. Eventually come on up to a seated position as you're ready. Together, we'll close practice with a moment of gratitude, inhaling our arms and reaching into this beautiful day to connect to the life that is within and the life that is without. The light in me is honored and grateful for the light within you all. Thank you so much for practicing. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.